Welcome back to the 6 o'clock show. Our next guest was recently flirting with Ken Barlow on the Corrie cobbles. I can hardly believe it.
And now actor and comedian Helen Lederer is treating us to a behind-the-scenes look at the entertainment industry in her new memoir.
But before we chat to the absolutely fabulous Helen, here's a clip of her getting up close and personal with Ken. I will have to look away.
Helen Lederer, it's great to welcome you to the 6 o'clock show.
Yes, give Helen a round of applause.
It's so wonderful to be here. I cannot tell you. This is my dream.
Thank you so much.
With you.
You're turning Friday into Fry-yay. We love that. Now, tell us all about Coronation Street, Helen, especially having to flirt with the Adonis that is Ken Barlow. Reveal all, kiss and tell.
Well, I think you're right when you say Adonis. I like the way you say that. Very upright. 92, I think we're allowed to say the digits. So within my age range, if one was, you know, upward a little bit. Lovely head of hair. Just gorgeous. Honestly, it was a joy.
I know, we are drooling. We love that hairline.
Good hair.
We do.
Good hair.
Indeed. Now, Helen, I have to say congratulations on your new book. Not that I'm bitter, a truly madly funny memoir. I just love the title of that. But besides the title, that's just one reason why we love it. Tell us everything about this book.
Okay, well, I'm glad you love the title because, you know, if people just take it literally and they think, oh, my goodness, older woman comedian who was at the Comedy Store once is being bitter, would we buy that book? Probably not. So, yeah, but it is that thing when you go, not that I'm bitter, and then you say something quite alarmingly truthful. So it is an alarmingly truthful book that I hope will make people laugh, but it has got the bits in the middle as well. But I mean, otherwise I'd be told off for not being truthful. And one thing I am as truthful as Brian will legislate for, won't you? I am a truthful person.
We've hung out, this is true. You've mentioned they're alarmingly truthful. And as an actress, Helen, you've done so much. I've got a list here. The Young Ones, Bottom, French and Saunders, Ab Fab. The list goes on. So with being alarmingly truthful, are you going to share lots of behind-the-scenes antics and gossips from all of those shows?
Well, I don't say anything horrible about anyone, but I do think that we all like our comedy shows. I mean, I don't know what your favourite one was, but we all know that we like them. So I thought there would be an interest in the Young Ones and also being a stand-up comedian in the 80s when I landed, when it wasn't that normal or usual for other women to do it. That's not why I did it, but and I just think it sort of shows a light of history as well, without sounding too pompous, but also the disasters, because I'm doing things that I did when I was 20 that I remember. But I think that people can identify with being middle. You see, Brian, Katja, I'm middle. I'm not elite, nothing wrong with that, nothing, but I'm middle. And I think there's something quite interesting to have been there during all those times with alternative comedy and then inventing and, dare I say, reality TV. Oh, Brian, do you know anything about reality TV? Did I just bring something up?
No, I'd never do a reality show. You've mentioned reality TV. You've dabbled. How would you describe, Helen, your time in the celebrity Big Brother house? And you also did a show called Splash. They're both very, very different.
Well, one requires water, which I was told about after I agreed to do it. And then from a great height, 3 meters is high. Have either of you dived just
no,
to get the
we don't
swim. We don't
We're not
swim.
water people, just like you.
Nil swim. Nil swim for both.
No
okay,
swim.
Well, then a dive. Do not dive until you can swim. It's better in that order. And so the Big Brother house was an interesting experience for money.
Yes.
And there is no, I just took wet wipes. I'm just so pleased to have taken the wet wipes in with me because I could not work that blooming shower. And no one likes to look feeble in front of 500 cameras and your colleagues. And Ryan Clark did say afterwards, we've seen everything, Helen, but in his voice. And I was thinking, oh, my goodness, what have they seen? So it is quite revealing and quite nice when you escape.
Well, Well, I do love, like, you've bared all, you know, whether it's in your career, your book, like you have had an incredible impact on a lot of people, a lot of female comedians also. One female comedian that you have worked with, Jennifer Saunders. I mean, you've done a lot of work with her. So we have to ask about Absolutely Fabulous. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it was lovely. All the main people's name began with J. Mine didn't, but that's fine. Very honoured. In those days, there was something called a Sloane Ranger, which you're too young to even probably have heard of, where you kind of slightly pointless people turning up in a sort of benign way and suggesting things, and then everyone ignores them, slightly like me. Or that's how I felt myself to be at the time. But obviously, it was great to be in a comedy programme that so many people say they were made happy by. I mean, that, and who knew? And then it went on for 20 years. So yeah, that was a joy of sort of woman writing and driving the narrative, although we didn't talk about it in those terms at the time. It was just, I think, did you watch it? But you would have been in the junior school.
If you're talking about Ab Fab, I'm a gay man. Yes, of course I watched it. Come on, Helen. Know the audience.
You glimpsed, you like the trousers, the slightly tight trousers.
I loved it. It's an iconic show. And when you watch it now, it still stands the test of time.
Yeah. I have to ask you, because it must have been a really big and conscious decision to be so truthful just about your life and your experiences and work. When did that decision kind of tap into your mind, like, right, I'm going all in?
All in.
Yeah, I like that expression. That is exactly what I did. Because when I was writing, I couldn't have written it in any other way. And then when I said to the publisher, obviously I'll take things out, and they said, do not take anything out. So I don't know what that means. But in order to be funny, and I'm sure you get this, you have to be truthful.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly, it can be made funny, I think. And I am only now thinking of lovely conversations to your good selves and others. Wow, yeah. Did I have to reveal quite so much? But when you're writing and you're in flow, you don't think about the other world. You're just in your head, wanting to get it all down and make it flow and make it funny and get the tone right. So I did go, as you say, all in. I did.
Helen, in 2018, you founded a literary prize for comic fiction written by women. Tell us, what inspired that decision?
Well, I'd written a novel, you see, so I looked around for a prize to win rather arrogantly. But you just do. I'm an ideas person, and there wasn't one. And sometimes you alight on an idea that most people say that's a good idea. You know, nobody said it was a bad idea. Maybe this is what people do in advertising. They think of things that, you know, and you just get that moment. And then we've been going ever since, and amazing people have judged it. Marion Keyes really supported us. Maureen Littman, I mean, amazing people. And then people have become published because it's a platform. But you can't really judge. It's awful being a judge. Well, I'm not a judge because people avoid me at parties because they think I've got that power. I just created the platform where the winner of the unpublished prize becomes published, and the very witty, excellent published women writers get recognised and celebrated. So what's not to like? Good parties.
Helen, thank you so much for joining us on the 6 o'clock show, and Helen's book is out now, so go buy it while you can. Please give Helen a round of applause.
Thanks,
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.